Slash and Cast.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies! Movies don't create psychos! Movies make psychos more creative!
Slasher Cast Podcast, where we talk horror and nothing but horror. Brought to you by the Slasher Cast Podcast Network and our YouTube channel, Slasher Media. I am one of your hosts, Mori, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Slasher.
Hey, everybody.
And today we'll be actually going over one of our favorite kind of topics, zombies.
We've done
There's a few
vampires,
zombie movies.
werewolves, now zombies.
Zombies?
Zombies.
Zombies. Okay. Okay.
Everybody loves a good zombie movie.
Most people.
most
I found a few people in my life when I talk about horror and things
I
like
think,
that, where they think it's overdone.
I can see it. I feel like it is definitely... There's that many out there that it is overdone. That's why I'm glad like video game series like Resident Evil is kind of not zombies anymore.
Yeah, they
Like,
kind of developed it and everything.
yeah, it
because
went
even
from
if
zombies to like different viruses and stuff, which kind of works in their favor because they can basically just do anything with like a virus or something and make it into a really good horror game.
Yeah, your fungal spores, your bacteria, etc., things like that. But like as the saying goes, you shouldn't beat a dead horse. But if the dead horse, gets back up, you probably have to.
I feel like I feel like
preferably.
the zombie films tend to continually get made because they're not. Like, I wouldn't say they're that easy to make either. It's mainly so like you've got Train to Busan, which is known as a really fucking good.
It's very good. It was a resurgence, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Of,
Then you've got films like which we will talk about later, 28 Days, 28 Weeks, and then the new movie 28 Years, which everybody's been waiting for.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Get watching that fucking trailer, boy.
I want to spoil it for myself,
I
like to sit down and just enjoy it.
Aaron
enjoy
Taylor
reading trailers.
Johnson's in it.
Okay.
But yeah, we will probably be starting off with guest character, won't we?
I guess so.
I guess, yeah.
I guess.
Don't be guessing.
Yeah.
It's bad for your health.
That's the point. I'm supposed to be guessing the character.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't have a character in mind yet. So you go first. You make me guess a character.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I started it today. Now you have to.
Let me think. Okay. One moment. Let's go with. Yeah. Go on.
Right. Am I a supernatural killer?
No.
Supernatural character, I
No.
guess I should say.
Nope.
Okay. Am I the antagonist of the story?
No.
No? Okay. Am I the protagonist of the story?
Yes.
Okay. Am I Ash Williams?
No.
You just have to, it's important. You should always just guess Ash Williams. Anytime. It's always the right answer.
Ruby.
They shop smart. Shop smart. Anyways,
Listen up, you primitive screwheads. This is my boomstick. That's my favorite line. I love that fucking line.
Absolutely. Are they masculine presenting or feminine presenting?
Masculine.
Masculine, okay. Let's see here. Do they have facial hair?
Yes. Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Not
facial
like
hair,
a
so
big bushy beard, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, it's like a mustache.
I'd say it's more of a stubble.
A stubble? Okay, so stubble. All right. Does it take place in the United States?
Yes.
Okay, so it takes place in the United States. The character is the protagonist, has a bit of stubble. So, with that being said, it's not a supernatural. It's not a
Oh, when you
supernatural
say
thing.
the protagonist, think outside this box there.
Okay, so more like one of the main characters,
Yes.
but not necessarily the main character.
Yes.
Is this one a very popular horror film?
I say so, yes.
You say so, yes. Okay, so it could be anything.
I think it is. Yeah, it's got a good fandom.
A good fandom. Okay. So it pretty much disqualifies Scream. In all honesty, in my opinion, there are very few. Actually, I can't think of any like good protagonists in the Scream movies that actually has facial hair, except for okay. Deputy Dewey.
No.
Okay, I had to try. I was like, wait a second. Dewey gets some
Nope.
stubble throughout the films.
Nope. It is not Dewey, and it's also
No.
not Doofy.
Yes, Doofy.
I had to.
I love Scary Movie.
Same. I can't wait. I can't wait for the new one.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. At least I hope it's gonna be great because they had the original writers for it, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm having a bit of a time guessing this. I actually am very curious about something though. Okay,
What?
so you've heard of like Google Gemini, right? It's like the AI thing.
Yeah, cause my phone runs on it. I've got.
Oh, you got a Pixel. You
Yeah.
got a Pixel.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I moved
I'm
from
so
Samsung to
proud.
get. I got a Google
The
Pixel
9?
9 Pro XL.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you have Gemini Pro or whatever
Yeah.
it is? It's called, Advanced?
I haven't used it.
Um I'm just gonna guess. I'm just gonna see. You know, I'm gonna type in what we figured out so far, and see if Gemini actually gets it. You know.
You actually. Oh.
I typed too fast. Okay, I actually hit enter when I shouldn't have hit enter.
Jesus.
Quick, distract the audience.
Audience. Mori is a dumbass. Like that.
I tried my best. Yeah, exactly.
Maury is the biggest dumbass to ever grace the earth with his dumbassery.
Tommy Jarvis.
No.
Okay.
Even the
It's the
fucking
character
AI.
survivor.
Yeah.
To be fair, this is what it said. With the information you provided, here are a few possibilities. Tommy Jarvis, the protagonist of several Friday the 13th films, known for his stubble and determination to defeat Jason Voorhees. The Shape, Michael Myers. While not a protagonist, he's a prominent masculine figure with the classic horror movie look, often depicted with stubble. To narrow it down further, please provide additional details like time period, when does the movie take place, setting, where in the U.S. does the story occur, rural, urban, specific state, character's role, is the character a survivor, killer, or something else, notable actions or quotes, what does the character do or say that stands out? The more details you provide, the better I can guess.
The character stands out because he's, I would say he's very American. Like in this world, he's the definitive American, like old school.
And it's not Ash Campbell.
No.
He is all American.
This guy is all American in the fact that constantly he sees a gun, he is happy.
This is Tremors, and it's not Tremors,
No.
or is that the look? No, because you understand where I'm getting.
Yeah, I know where you were going with that. You're going with Bert.
Yeah, Bert, because Bert is in fact all American.
No,
absolutely, but all about guns, but not Bert from Tremors.
No.
Okay, so it's not Bert from Tremors. Does this take place in rural America?
It takes place. in cities mainly.
Takes place in cities.
It takes place in a city. This one in
City.
particular.
Is it sitting on the East Coast or the West Coast?
I have no idea.
You Brits. And lack of
Wow.
American geography.
Wow.
Listen, I at least can kind of point out, you still have now. How do you organize your counties? Is there like
One we call
Essex
them.
still, and
One we
Wessex, and
call them
Middlesex?
just. One we just call them towns and shit. But yeah, Essex is one. Then you've got Yorkshire, and then you've got
That's where that pudding comes from, right?
yes. I think I actually don't know where the origin of that came from. But yeah, basically.
Okay, so all American, somewhere in the United States in a city loves guns. So in a city, not rural, obviously not Bird from Tremors, even though my brain keeps saying Bird from Tremors. Off the topic now, brain. Let's continue on to. All right, so city. American takes place in a city. Don't fail me, Gemini. Wow, Gemini. Gemini really thinks it's Tommy Jarvis.
It's
It
not.
is not Tommy Jarvis.
Right. I would say that he. What can I say? They'll kind of give it away, but not.
Yeah, Gemini's failed me.
The character's name is a place in America.
Really? Really? You really picked Tallahassee?
Yes. Wait,
You know what
he
the
is
bullshit
very
is?
American.
You knew who I was gonna pick? Do you know who I was gonna pick for my character? I was gonna pick Tallahassee. I was like, you know what? Let's see if he even thinks about it, because that's the movie he picked.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Right, let me do another one. I was
And you're
tempted to
right.
go. I was tempted to go Columbus, but I was like, no, that's too typical.
Yeah, and also, yeah, you're right. It's not a specific city. Like they mention cities and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
obviously, unless you count Zombieland 2, that definitely has a few
if I
key places.
remember, they go to like they're around alt place. It's like one. They meet on a bridge. Tallahassee and Columbus meet on a bridge. Then they go to a. Cause he's on. I think he's on his way to Columbus, Ohio. I think he's on the way to Columbus, and 'cause his family live there. And Tallahassee and him meet. They go to a shop. They meet Little Rock and Wichita, and they. By the way, the naming system in this world is weird.
It doesn't work too, right? Because if they name themselves after where they're going, so nobody gets attached. But when they introduce Wichita and Little Rock, they introduce them because they are sisters. Why is the underage sister going to a completely different city than the older sister who's their guardian?
I think it's mainly where she's like lived or from or something. I don't know.
But that's like my little,
And then if I remember, they're on the road. They go to Los Angeles. I think they go to LA.
It might be LA.
Yeah, of course. I think they're outside the Chinese theater. When of course
they did because they went to Beverly Hills because of
and they went to Bill Murray's house and stayed there for a bit, and then they went off to
freaking Murray.
Then they went off to, and that's when the ending of the film happens, where it takes place at the Pacific Playland.
So I'm gonna admit something real quick before we get into my character. There have been 2 films in my life I actually tried to memorize word for word. One of them was Zombieland. Do you know what the second one was?
Evil Dead.
No, it was actually The Godfather Part 1.
Oh,
I put so much time into
typical,
it because I was like,
typical
yeah,
gangster.
it's
Movie
a
lover.
tale of an American family, okay? And it's a good American family. I love Al Pacino. But anyways, yeah. So Zombieland and Godfather, I watched around the same period of my life, and I started trying to memorize them. I can't really remember all the lines anymore, but Zombieland has a place in my heart.
All right, go for it.
Anyway,
Do your
yeah. So
first
for
one.
my character,
You can't do Tallahassee
brain.
now.
Yeah, you're right. I can't.
You don't even need to go to a zombie one either.
I know. I'm trying to. All right, I got it.
Have you?
I have.
Is your character the protagonist?
No.
Are they the killer?
Yes.
Yeah, so is it one killer?
No.
Is it more than 2?
Yes.
Is it a group?
Yes.
Are the killers animals?
Sometimes.
Is this a werewolf film?
No.
They're animals sometimes.
Sometimes.
How does that... That makes no sense.
You can ask other questions and see if it fills in the blanks.
Is this supernatural?
No.
Is it a slasher?
No.
Is it a zombie film?
No.
Is it a creature feature?
Yes, I'd say yes.
Is it a monster film?
I'd say yes. We can discuss it once we get further on.
So they're animals sometimes. Do they turn into animals that exist, or are they turning into animal-like creatures?
Exist.
So they turn into animals that exist, but not wolves. Cats?
Not in the movies.
What?
You said cats. I said not in the movies. Theoretically, they could be cats.
The fuck? Is the protagonist... Is it more than one protagonist?
Yes.
Are the protagonists... Is there one main one who survives, or do they all survive?
One main one that survives.
So one of them survives and the rest die.
Yes.
Okay. Does it take place in America?
No.
So it's not in America. Does it take place in anywhere in Europe?
No.
Not Europe. Does it take place in Africa?
Nope.
Not America, not Europe. So not UK.
You have 4 other continents you can guess.
Japan?
That's not a continent, but no.
Fuck. Asia then.
No.
Alaska, around there?
Nope. That's still North America.
I'm bad with continents. So it's not Asia or India. It's not Europe. It's not America. Not Alaska. What continents am I missing?
South America,
Well, it can't be
Australia,
America because you said it's not America.
Antarctica.
I said America as a whole.
Correct, yeah. But you didn't specifically do South America, but I clicked on it as a whole as well. I was just telling you continents you had not specifically mentioned.
Is it Alaska? No, Alaska. Did I say that? Antarctica.
You did. It's Antarctica.
Is it the thing?
Ding, ding, ding.
Motherfucker.
You get why that's kind of complicated, right?
Yeah.
Because if it gets to a cat, it can become a cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking sometimes. So I should have said dog, and I would have. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Have you?
I will say.
Are you getting
Um,
Are you getting like the remake or remaster of the game?
I was about to mention that. I am tempted. Is it still multiplayer? Like, is it a multiplayer
I
thing?
have no idea. That's actually something I don't know.
There's a game that I've always wanted to play with people, and I even bought it for some of my friends, but we never played it. It's called starts with a D. It's called. I know I have to have it installed. I'm not. Is it Disturbed? No, it's not Disturbed. What the hell is it called? It was a really cheap game that's kind of similar in the same vein as that. And it's like a top-down game where you're surviving like a Antarctic base kind of place, and you have your friends, and like
Not
basically you're
the
like,
thing game's not top down.
no, this is a game that's like in the same vein of
Oh.
kind of like horror and stuff.
Right.
And it starts like
I guess we've got time for at least one more each. Let me figure out why you try and find that game.
Distrust. Have you ever heard of Distrust?
Distrust game.
That is a dream game of mine to play with people, just like Borrow Trauma.
I think I might have seen it. I think I've seen this advertised.
Yeah, so the thing remastered. I'm disappointed because it doesn't look like they rebuilt the game.
No,
literally
the
just
point
remastered
it's not it, which I think was the point. They wanted to keep it the same, aesthetic instead of like
Oh,
remaking it.
it's actually out right now.
Yep, Dead Meat are playing it.
It came out on the 5th.
If I remember, it takes place after the first film.
Is a sequel to the genre-defining 1982 film.
Whereas the movie with Elizabeth Winstead, that is a prequel.
Yes. 20 frightening levels. Advanced trust fear interface.
Right. What character should I go with?
Nice.
I'm gonna go with. Let me think. Go on.
This takes place in the United States.
Yes.
Is it a rural film?
What do you mean by that?
Like countryside, kind of, outside the main cities.
Definitely outside the city.
Okay. Does it take place in the mountains? No.
No, that I know of. No.
Are they a member of a family?
No. No, not that I know of. No.
No.
Okay. Oh, actually, no, they were.
They were a member of a family. Okay. Now, are there multiple movies involving? Has that family name oddly change between movies?
No, it's not Texas.
Okay. Yeah, I was just like, ooh, well.
And how many names can fucking Leatherface have?
That's true. Yeah. Are they a part of a film written/directed by Rob Zombie?
No.
Okay, so it eliminates that one right out of the key or pocket, whatever. So we're part of a family. Is this a supernatural?
Mm, sometimes.
Sometimes supernatural. Is this a protagonist, a supporting character, or an
This is a
antagonist?
protagonist.
Protagonist, okay.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, protagonist. Yeah, the hero. Yeah. I
Yeah,
forget.
so
I
they're
forget
the
sometimes
hero.
what protagonist means.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, and it's funny that you say that because I'm on Twitter looking down Twitter for a sec, and I just see something about Buffy.
That's so weird. It's as if I can see it's on your computer.
Apparently, Michelle Gellar says she's down for a Buffy Vampire Slayer reboot.
Be interesting. So used to be part of a family, is the protagonist, sometimes supernatural. Sometimes leads me. This is a slasher film.
Yes.
I did clarify it does take place in the United States. So it's not underworld. So it can't be, well, she's always supernatural, Selena is. Masculine presenting or feminine presenting?
Masculine.
Masculine presenting.
Oh
Sometimes
wait, no.
supernatural.
Yeah. Never mind, my brain's going weird. Sometimes supernatural.
Pablo from Evil Dead.
No.
I love Pablo.
Pablo's great.
One of the better characters. Okay, so Evil Dead's not part of it again. Ash Campbell.
No.
Okay, I just had to clarify because if it was my fault for just being like, yeah, it can't be that. Sometimes supernatural. Used to be member of a family, meaning that they got kicked out or like exiled from the family, or the family no
No.
longer.
The family is, well, he has someone still living. Someone in his family still living, but he doesn't like. He's only with them in one film, and then the rest of the time he shows up is on his own.
There's multiple films. He in one film he's with it. Well, my brain, I know it's not Harry Potter, but
It's
everything you're
not,
describing makes
no.
me think of Harry Potter because like he's Sirius Black and everything. um, is this a vampire film?
No.
Is this a werewolf film?
No.
Is this a witchcraft
No.
film? Hmm.
It's fucking funny for me.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me when I think you're gonna kill me when you find out what it is.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Let's see. Are they middle aged?
No.
Are they young adult?
I'd say mid-20s or so, early 30s maybe.
Mid-20s, early 30s. Sometimes supernatural. Used to have a family. Assist with the family with the sole surviving family member for a movie, and then kind of goes away. It doesn't necessarily take place in a rural area. It is in the United States. It's not a vampire, not a werewolf, or a witchcraft-based movie. It's not Ash Campbell.
They're
It's not
played by
Pablo.
3 different actors.
Played by 3 different actors across multiple films.
Um,
Or in one
yeah,
film.
3 different films,
3 different films. They're played by different people each film.
and I think only really 2 of them I recognized like as are recognized to play the character more than One Rumor is.
Ah, so it's Tommy Jarvis.
Yes. I was coming with a character and I was like, he's gonna kill me if I do this.
that was the key hint there. I was like, Tommy Jarvis.
You go ahead and do one.
All right, got it.
Slasher.
No.
Supernatural.
Yes.
Werewolf.
No.
Vampire.
No.
Witchcraft.
No.
Ghosts.
No.
Poltergeists.
No.
Demons.
No.
What other fucking supernatural shit is there?
I guess to pull it back a notch, maybe Supernatural's not the best descriptor for it.
Is this the antagonist or the protagonist?
Antagonist.
Is there only one?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why, but my brain's going to the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Thankfully, no. I will tell you though, that was almost the character I picked. Almost.
I don't know why, but my brain just went to it. It was like, because it's supernatural, but then it's a slasher, and I was like,
No.
In what terms of supernatural are we saying?
I would say it's more like, reality, kind of like almost like hallucination or like visions, that kind of thing.
So, is the antagonist something that creates hallucinations? Oh. Do you see the antagonist in the film? Or is it more of a presence?
Yes.
I don't know why, but Final Destination comes to mind.
That's a clever one though. That's a good idea.
It's not though, is it?
It's not though. I think that's simply death, by the way, in Final Destination. I think it's literally death.
Is what the fuck? Is it? Are the protagonists all survivors?
All
All of
as
them.
in every protagonist survives?
Yeah. Or at least like one of them gets injured or one of them goes missing or something but doesn't die.
There are deaths. There are injuries. There might be even missing.
Insidious.
No.
Fuck.
Fun fact, I've never watched a single one of those films.
How dare you? Sinister.
No.
Fucking hell, man. Silent Hill.
No.
Do you see the killer at all? Is it a physical thing
Yes.
that you can see?
Yes.
But it doesn't kill itself. It uses
Correct.
It doesn't kill itself.
No.
Does it physically stab or maim or whatever?
Sometimes. Yes is probably the best answer. We'll just go with yes. Yes probably makes the most sense to say.
My brain hurts. My brain actually hurts right now.
Vengeance.
My brain is doing just the Macarena.
Macarena.
Shut up. Oh, what? I swear to God, Mori. Why do you do? Why do you do this to me?
Do you need a hint?
Yeah.
You've been saying the name almost this entire time.
What?
Or at least a name.
I've been saying in it. What fuck it? Like what? What have I been saying?
That would give it away.
Give me a little bit of a hint. Another.
You want another hint?
Yeah.
There's also a book about it.
Exorcist.
No.
There's a book. Is it a well-known book?
Absolutely.
Would have I have seen this?
Absolutely.
Just give it me. I'll give up. My brain's on a blank.
Pennywise. It. You've been saying it. There's a book about it. The visions, the physical, the stuff. The fact that one member does go missing, one member is definitely hurt, another one does die.
There's so much to hate about you right now.
Do you know what's funny though is I told Jim and I to give me a random horror villain earlier, right? Now, that being said, I forgot about that for a second before we started. I was gonna go with the creeper, and I was like, wait, Jim and I gave me it. And the fact that you pulled that creeper so fast out of nowhere, I was like, I'm really happy I didn't go with creeper. Which the creeper is a demon, so the trick there would have been if I would have suggested it.
Let's just get on to the main topic. Before I decide to make your life a little bit shorter.
Ooh, please.
That is a joke. Alright, shall we go with my first one, or do you want to go with your first one?
We'll go with yours.
Okay, well, I went with Zombieland. The first one, but we could, we could talk about the second one.
Did you like the second one?
Yeah, I thought it were a good follow-up. Definitely had the same vibe. The fact that all the actors, still, even after they all went really big, they still had a love for the franchise. And I hope we don't have to wait another few years for the next one.
Exactly. And how does that line go? Is it
It's also very funny watching Amber Heard get hit by a fucking toilet seat.
That was Amber Heard?
Yeah.
I for some reason didn't realize that.
That was Amber Heard. I think that was one of her earliest roles. And yeah, I can't watch that scene without laughing ever again. So it's that fucking funny.
I always get this line mixed up because I think it's like I like your enthusiasm. You'll be the first to die. It's actually you'll be the first to die, but I like your enthusiasm. I love that.
I love my favorite one is where Columbus is always like, I hate clowns, clowns with red noses, and he fucking comes across a clown zombie. And it's like, of course it's a fucking clown.
Yeah. Um, my favorite line of all time, though, and it's the reason why I like this snack so much. Actually, a lunch cake or snack cake, whatever some people call it.
Winkies.
Nope, snowballs.
Oh, I thought you were
The
gonna go
entire line of
Twinkies.
snowballs.
Snowballs.
I hate snowballs. It's not the taste;
It's the
it's the
consistency.
consistency of the coconut.
No, it
Does
just
the
says
lion
consistency.
limber up
It
before
doesn't
it
say
hunts the
coconut.
gazelle?
It says consistency.
He doesn't follow the consistency of the coconut?
No, it just says consistency. The fact that they named Zombieland 2 Double Tap was hilarious.
It was definitely perfect. Because, you could even argue it's because a lot of sequels are considered like money grabs and stuff like that that effectively kill the franchise. And what's a double tap? An effective way to ensure a franchise is dead. Or, zombies dead, right?
Sure.
So you could argue that that would be the joke with it.
Yeah, that's not the line at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's snowballs. Snowballs. Where's the Twinkies? And
Where's
I
the
hate coconut,
fucking
not the taste.
Twinkies?
Yeah. So it's one of my favorite things, but also like, does the lion limber up before it hunts the gazelle? Just
And then
everything.
fucking Columbus goes, hmm. He does that little weird smile that he does, and he goes, hmm.
Yeah, and then he ends up because it's like a thoughtful like maybe not, and then Tallahassee then pulls something while he's down there. He's
Yeah.
frankly Tallahassee is one of the best characters in like across anything we've ever seen in terms of like
Is
how
it ever
likable they
like?
are.
Is it ever like explained if him, when he cries, is it his dog or is it his kid?
It is in fact his kid.
Right, cause I remember Columbus.
He tried to talk about his dog to make it so he didn't seem like it was like a really big tragic story, but then that's when it hits him and realizes, oh shit,
because
he's got some trauma.
Because I remember Columbus says to him, those pictures were in someone's wallet, by the way, or something like that. He says something to him that's about the wallet.
Yeah.
So I was like,
but yeah,
is that real or what?
definitely real. And fits to Tallahassee's character.
True.
He wasn't really he doesn't really exaggerate things. In terms of he doesn't embellish things.
Yeah, he never wants to show that he's like, he always wants to play the hard guy. He never wants to. It's like I think if I remember, he loves. He's like probably one of the main characters who actually loves the zombie apocalypse a little bit.
Yeah.
Because of what it is and what it does, and like I think it's mainly an excuse for him to. For him, anyway, it's mainly an excuse for him to get away with taking his anger out on the world.
Yeah. I would say another one of my favorite things about it is when they first go to the supermarket, right when they meet Wichita Little Rock, right? And he brings the banjo into the store to attract the zombies. Remember correctly, is he not playing the dueling banjos from Deliverance?
I have no idea. Not sure.
I can't remember either, but my brain says he was. I could be wrong, but it's good fun, I enjoy him. Or like the scene when they get carjacked again, right? Well, taken hostage, where he's like, what's he go like? Where he's like, they're in the back, aren't they? Nope, just me. And Columbus is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you were held hostage by a 12-year-old? Well, girls advance, mature faster than guys. She was well ahead of where I was at that age. 12's the new 20." And then, that whole bit where he then tries to get aggressive, she shoots. He's like, "Don't shoot me with my own gun."
Yeah, he's like, "Don't shoot me with my own gun."
The bit where she's just like, "I don't want to die by a 12-year-old
I
girl
also
in my
love
car with my own
I
gun."
love that scene as well where they're at Bill Murray's house and it's when they're doing the gun thing and Columbus is like, "It's double barrel." It's like, "Sorry, it's double barrel."
Yeah.
So he's just there reloading and everybody looks at him like, "Fuck's sake."
As a kid, I never fully understood why that accident fully happened, right? And then I realized, right, everyone was high off their fucking gourds. They were so high. Tallahassee and Bill Murray were like, what'd be really funny is if we scared them with me dressed as a zombie. And it's like, oh, fucking course that would go bad.
I was about to say they didn't think that was gonna, like, even I could see that going really bad.
Yeah, but as a kid watching it, for some reason, it didn't click to me that it was because they were high and led to them thinking, "Oh, you know what? This will be funny."
It's funny as well that Lil Rock's like, what's Ghostbusters? Who's Bill Murray?
Oh, I ought to slap you, right? Is that what he says? Or I've never slapped a child before, or something like that.
Yeah, he's like,
I'll
I've
make an
never
exception.
slapped a child before. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro, Jesus. All right, calm down. But yeah, I think it's one of those. It's fucking weird.
It's like not knowing who Gandhi is. Who's Gandhi?
Oh yeah, that's when he says it. I've never slapped a child before. That's when he says that after she says, "Oh, who's Gandhi?" And I'm like, it's just that great. Right. What about your first one?
My first one? Oh, my first
Oh
one.
yeah,
So my
yours is
first one's
easy.
mine's super easy, right? It's just 28 days later. Which ironically, technically wasn't written and portrayed necessarily as a zombie movie. Their intentions weren't let's make a zombie movie when they made this movie. It was more some of the society socio, kind of issues and things like that. But it is also really the origin, 28 days later is also kind of the origin of the fast zombies, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what took on. And you could almost
I think it's
argue
because
that
zombies were getting boring, so
they had
to up
already gotten boring. And
to up the
28 days
ante,
later,
to up the
yeah, and 28
ante.
days later, you could say attributed to the remake of Dawn of the Dead and actually like the resurgence of zombie
Yeah,
media.
I
And this is one
like.
of Cillian Murphy's first roles too. Like he was
Yeah,
25.
yeah. I think the series is amazing because it's very grounded. It's not very Hollywood. It's got that filmic thing to it where everything looks grainy and everything looks real. So it's not like production on it isn't like high. It's very grainy, very looks real, and the acting's great.
Yeah. Not only
Um,
that, but they had very limited windows to do some of their scenes and
yeah,
stuff. We're talking like 20 minutes for one of them. I think it involved the bus and everything. Like they made do with what they could. And the fact is too, you could also describe it, like it's basically, three acts. Like it's a good story ultimately overall. You have the
and it's like
beginning going through with his
also
character.
the military guys as well, who actually eat people and they're cannibals. I think they are, aren't they? Yeah,
I don't think they eat people from her correctly, but they are incredibly awful human beings because to them, because of the shit they've seen, they decide nothing else matters than themselves, kind of thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's kind of whatever they want. That's why, that shit gets real
yeah.
dark real fast.
They, it's much more of a commentary on like humans and if anything. So like if something like this happens, so if a pandemic or like something happens where like a disaster or an apocalypse type event does happen, humans will tend to do everything for themselves instead of others.
Yeah.
They won't. They will tend to help only themselves and won't help anyone else because inherently it's more of a hindrance. It's like it comes down to survival of the fittest, and it's like if you're not willing to, put away your humanity, you are just gonna die.
Yeah. Well, then you see things like, you see the father and daughter where the father, he does that real stupid thing where he looks up and gets the blood in his eye, right? And then he kind of tells his daughter like, "Oh, just so you know, I love you, but stay away from me." When she kind of tries to get close and stuff, like you see that moment where it's like the love of the family, things like that. Then you have, obviously Killing Murphy's character and the woman who kind of like band together on their little journey, stuff like that. You see how two strangers kind of meet and work together. Because there's the other guy too. I always forget his name, but remember, like he possibly may have gotten infected, and she just straight goes ham on him and just completely takes the guy out, and kind of like it's kind of points out like, hey, in this dynamic, this group dynamic, it's ultimately still only yourself. Then you see the
Yeah,
family dynamic where it's
I
just you
think it's
see
mainly
is it
like if
him?
if you're in a group during a zombie apocalypse, you are working together to survive. You will help each other when needed, but if one of you does get infected, I'm sorry, but I
You have to take care of it fast
you are
and
no
decide.
longer you are no longer in the group or alive. You are now one of them instantly. Even if you are still you at this moment, you're not going to be for any longer. So you
Well, and
have
that's the thing
to.
too is they never, the answer of whether or not he actually got affected. You know what I mean? Never actually comes across because the idea is that she did without even like not even giving it that chance because it's like 20 seconds, right? Like 20-25 seconds, boom, you're full blown raging, right? Um, and ultimately,
Oh yeah,
there's
nothing
that.
happened to him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the
but
time went by
she
for him.
reacted.
Yeah, the time went by for him to change, and he didn't. So like,
Yeah.
that's when you learn that okay, it is a bite that does it, not.
Well, the blood gets in the eye of the father, and it does start to turn him, and then the soldiers execute.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's like,
Um,
but like
but it's
she,
blood. It's a bloodborne kind of pathogen.
yeah, and it's I think it's like I don't know, it's one of those things where 28 days is surreal to the fact that it just shows humanity at its lowest. It shows humanity for what it is instead of what it's not. And it's obviously the film is a commentary on like I don't know, uh different things, but it comes down to I don't know, it comes down to like different aspects of humanity being the way we are and overall things that we've built. So like the world we've built for ourselves, the money, the military, the war, and all that. None of that matters. None of that fucking matters when there's an apocalypse. No one cares about money. No one cares about politics. No one cares about anything else. Everyone's out to just survive.
Well,
And
everything kind of defaults to more of a tribal, a tribal situation. It reverts back to a starting of humanity, starting of civilization where it's really you with your closest people or you with others who band together out of necessity with a leader who's typically in charge, via, more strength, or rather they have someone that they can contribute to the group that the group recognizes as high
to
value.
me, it's more of a thing of you work as a group. Don't have one leader. Just work together more than working as work as a collective. type
Well, that's the
deal.
issue. Is like human nature will always bring,
But it's also
somewhat
like if you're gonna
disregard.
be in that group dynamic, I think the best thing to do is to somewhat live a normal, like live every day normal. So like if you've got kids, have someone be a teacher. If you've got family dynamics, if you've got a family, uh, act like a family and that, just to have somewhat normalcy in the world so that you don't go crazy type
So it's
thing.
important to teach because humanity kind of figured out along the lines of, hey, if we have the old teach the young what the old know, the young don't have to rediscover all the things the old people know.
Yeah,
Thus, it accelerates, the growth. But
exactly.
ultimately, yeah. But ultimately, and I figure we might as well go into 20 weeks later as well, and then go on to your other one
Yeah,
since
go
mine are
for it.
connected. And then 28 weeks later, that is the follow up to it, where after the situation in Great Britain's kind of not quite been resolved, the United States, kind of moves in and stuff is helping. They set up a quarantine zone. They start ferrying in survivors and people to live in this space. I believe is it London itself? I always forget which city it is. I think it's London because the
It's
London
London.
Bridge.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
London.
So they're repopulating it and everything, and the goal is I looked at the line to make sure that I got the line right. Right. And it was um well, like one of the major quotes and stuff is like the military had a specific thing, which was, in the case of an outbreak, step one, kill the infected, step two, containment, and if containment fails, step three, extermination. And the whole issue of it being is this situation of, hey, this is still a really risky place. Why are you basically putting all these people in this area where something could go wrong, right?
Exactly.
And ultimately, it follows. This one follows the story of a husband,
Yeah,
a wife, and the two kids.
because the film starts off with the father. It starts off with taking place during the original, outbreak, and when it first started, and this father and his family are in the house. He ends up the zombies getting. He ends up breaking. He ends up getting out of there, leaving his leaving. I think his kids are not there because they're never. They somehow survive. They're not taken or anything. I don't think the kids are in the house. I think they're somewhere else. I think it's just him and his wife. Because it's like they're out in the middle of like a farming area. He leaves her there. She's he leaves her in the house to be dead to die, and he runs away and takes a boat and gets out of there. Then, if I remember, it goes to the 28 weeks later. He reunions with his kids, but I don't think they know what happened to their mother. I don't think they know that he was a coward.
Nope, that's kind of the point of it and stuff. Is he hides the fact that in the moment of, do I stay with my wife or do I go look out for
Yeah, and
myself? He
and
chose
obviously the
himself.
American military have now come in to help because Jeremy Renner's in this as well.
Yep.
He plays a military guy. Idris Elba's in it as well, helping out. Um, and then you meet the two kids, the father. And then later on, the mother is found. The kids, I think what they do is they go out into the city. They go out into the city, and they end up going to this house. They go out of the quarantine zone and go into this house, and they find their mum just in this house. And the mother is locked up, and then the father sees her, kisses her because he's a fucking idiot, and she isn't turned. She's not even one of them. She's a carrier of the disease. He becomes a zombie and kills her. Gets out, and the entire film basically is their dad as a zombie, and he's spreading the virus and all that stuff. And the kids, I think the kids end up with Jeremy Renner's character. Well, they're on their own for a bit, and then Jeremy Renner character, Sergeant Doyle, helps them escape by getting to a helicopter. that they have to get to, and I like 28 Weeks Later. I think it's a good follow up. It's definitely a good follow up to the first one, and it's like to show that the world hasn't still. Because I think in 28 years later, that's when we're going into the more apocalypse side of the zombies. So like society's still trying to run while the zombies are out, while the zombies are being dealt with. But now in 28 years, everything's gone. There's no society anymore. People are just out to survive. But in this one, it's yeah. I don't know what else I could say.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And then you hear some subplots and things like that too, like with Rainer's character disobeying the direct command of exterminate all civilians, right? Because he sees the
He won't do
children.
it.
Yeah, and the children could be the key to a vaccine or a cure for said
Yeah, isn't
rage
it
virus.
like? Aren't they both bitten?
I thought one was bitten.
What, one of them? I thought it was both. I thought like I know what I think one of them does get bitten, but like the time goes by and they never turn.
Andy is bitten by their father,
Yeah.
and then Tammy shoots Dawn. And so the issue then is, Andy then appears immune to the infection, but that means he's liably just same as his mom, as in, hey, he's a carrier, meaning you shouldn't swap spit. If this kid grows up, he better not get a girlfriend,
Yeah,
basically, or
it's basically like some people become carriers, they don't turn. Some people just carry it. It's like a flu virus in a way.
And the fact that all this started because and that was the kind of point of the movie is animal rights activists break into this facility, this bio facility, to release the monkeys, and these monkeys had been tested on and things like that, and the scientist even tells them like, don't release them, that has a very dangerous biological virus within it, and they ignore it, and what happens? Well, the
Exactly.
monkey
That's
mauls a couple of them and it gets bad, like it
exactly
erupts.
it's fucking like it's stupid that it's
Yeah,
just people being dumb.
yeah. And because it was definitely a very because really that's the big thing about zombie movies. Zombie movies are typically, by and large, social. It's all about
It's basically
sociology.
most of them. It's where people are making bioweapons and zombies is what comes from it. Where you get a biological weapon, same with like video games like Resident Evil. It was a bioweapon that was created, um, and yeah, but that's what it's supposed to be anyway. Right, let's go to my last one. I went with a different type of zombie film. I went with Overlord. Overlord is a different type of zombie film. It's set during World War II. Have a look. So it's during the end of World War II. American paratroopers set out to destroy a German radio tower. Soon enough, things take a murky turn when they come across a vicious secret. So basically, the thing is, they are on the way to destroy this tower, but end up finding a secret, like, laboratory underground. And it turns out the Germans are making a super soldier type serum, trying to make super soldiers, and it turns them into zombies, but they stay who they are. They they don't become, monsters. Like where they're not themselves, they are themselves. they can talk and all that, but their bodies kind of like. So I know one of the characters dies, ends up getting injected, and he gets up and his body like changes. He does try and kill his own people, but his body like breaks down. His like bones crack, and it's gnarly as fuck. And he does get shot and he heals. It's definitely a different type of zombie film, but I think it's really well made. It's very action packed. Definitely got a good cast.
Especially the guy who eventually becomes the the new Captain America. He becomes what's the name that he becomes when he joins the Thunderbolts?
Oh,
Agent. It's like U.S. agent, isn't it?
U.S.
Is that
agent, yeah.
technically? Yeah, yeah. So that's that actor. He's an overlord, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense with it.
Joseph Quinn's in it. Uh, Mathilda Olivia, Jovan Adepo. I'm getting these names wrong. John Magaro, Pilu Asbeek, Dominic Applewhite, Buckham Woodbine, and Ian De Sistika, who is the one who gets his like body cracked and all that. And the main character is Private. He's like the guy who ends up living at the end. And there is a main German soldier who he ends up injecting himself with the serum, and he ends up like him and the
He's like the typical
yeah
German maniacal villain. Who's like I'll do this to do this thing. He's just like he fits the trope.
yeah. Overall, I like this film for what it does. It's definitely uh, I think it's definitely made uh to be like this. I don't know, like it's it's a different take on zombies when you think.
I'd say it's they definitely got their inspiration from like the zombies from Call of Duty World at War, things like that,
Yeah,
and just the typical World War II German experiments where they were really messing with biology and things like that. That kind of concept.
yeah, and I think it's made very well.
Yeah, and it's different from like the typical, hey, you get bitten, you get infected. It's
Yeah.
more of a, serum that may or may not be derived from other zombies.
Mm. But yeah, it's supposed to be the Germans' way of like trying to win the war, because it's near the end of the war, and
Clearly, this was a Hydra plot, and it was their way to try and counter Captain America. That's really what it was. Yeah,
could you imagine if it turned out the movie was a Marvel movie all along?
that would be hilarious. I know there was commentary on it being the fourth Cloverfield movie, but it really wasn't. And people were
Yeah,
like,
I
"Oh, it
think I've
has
heard
to be."
that. Yeah, I think I've heard that, but it can't be.
So, how do you feel
Cloverfield.
about J.J. Abrams as a director, by the way?
What?
How do you feel about J.J. Abrams in terms of like his
J.J.
movies and things?
Abrams?
Because I'm always torn
He,
because he was also a part of the Star Wars, the newer trilogy of Star Wars that obviously really.
yeah. I
Granted, it was
think
it was
he.
Ryan who was really the problem.
I think when he. I think when he gets to like do his own thing, he doesn't have any constraints on what he can do. That's when he's at his best.
Yeah,
I think he's at his best when he can actually do what he does. I think his films are pretty good. It's just that sometimes he's constrained enough that he can't do the things he normally would.
yeah. Now, fun fact, so fun with the zombie thing and stuff. I had the pleasure of, it was 2 years ago now, coincidentally, but in Monroeville, Monroeville, Pennsylvania, where they shot the original, Dawn of the Dead, right? They actually have a Living Dead weekend where basically as much of the living cast who can make it and stuff like that of a lot of Romero's films all show up. They have like a whole little convention thing for the weekend where you can meet some of the artists, actors, all that stuff. Absolutely great time. From a friend of mine, their father actually worked alongside George Romero as well in like Night Riders, movies like that and stuff, and it was super cool. They have a little museum and stuff there too in the mall. It's awesome. It's super cool.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. But yeah, I've got nothing else to say.
Nothing at all. Nothing else about zombies.
No, I think we've said everything we need to say.
All right, I guess we won't beat the dead horse. Unless it gets back up, and then. But anyways, with that, we do want to thank you for watching the Slashercast podcast. Where we talk horror, nothing but horror. Again, brought to you by the Slashercast Podcast Network and our YouTube channel, Slasher Media. I have been one of your hosts, Maury.
I'll be the host, Slasher.
And thank you for watching. And remember to keep on slashing, keep watching horror, and we will see you next time. Bye for
Whatever
now.
you
Bye for
do,
now.
don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies? Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.